Good evening. I'm Selwyn Collins, your host of CWS Conversations with Selwyn. Thank you for joining us. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, a very special thank you. Sorry about the delay. It was beyond our control, but thank you for joining us nevertheless. CWS is about having conversations with people about their journey and how they're using their gifts and talents to help others. How are they contributing to humanity in a positive way? And so I'm always looking for people who are doing things extraordinarily well or doing extraordinary things. And the reason for this is that I believe that we all have a story to tell. And it's when we share our stories, I think that's when we best evoke our humanity. When we're able to tell not only about our successes, but how we overcame our challenges, how often we get up when we fall. I think the reason why it is so important for us to believe in ourselves and to pursue our ideas until we become successful, it is not so much for us, but it's for what we can demonstrate to others. We never know who's looking on. One can never tell which little child, which young person is looking at you for guidance, hoping that you are successful, hoping that you succeed, so that you will leave breadcrumbs of direction as to how they may proceed. And so I'm often saying, when you have an idea, your idea is not about you, it is about all of us. Stick to your idea, commit to it. When I look at this medium through which I broadcast, and I look at technology like Skype, and I look at technology like the iPad, and many technologies that have come out in recent years, I marvel. I marvel, excuse me, not only at the consciousness of man, but the conscientiousness of man. The ability to pursue an idea that may seem very strange and ridiculous to some. And today, we are beneficiaries of those who would have gotten an idea that might have seemed ridiculous, but persist nevertheless. And I say this to you, you can never tell who you are being a light to. You can never tell whose dream you are helping by being your best self and pursuing your idea. So I'm going to take a short break. And when I return, I'll introduce you to our guest, Zen BeBe, am I pronouncing this right, Peter? Zen BeBe Leon, my friend Pierre Sylvester Leon. We're back with my guest for the evening, Zen BeBe Leon.
Hey, what's going on, Selwyn?
Good evening, my friend.
I'm well, blessed and well. How you doing?
I am fine, thank you. Finally,
Yeah, listen, man, the devil is a liar, so
The-
we're here. So,
I like that. I want to go straight into just a synopsis of your bio. Pierre Leon paints in an abstract style that is infused with his personal spirit and deep roots in his native land of Haiti. In his own words, what lives in my heart lives in my art. His travels throughout the world and the works of Miles Davis, Frida Kahlo, and Salvador Dali have been his greatest influences. After his first successful showing at the World Trade Center's Corner Gallery, Leon went on to exhibit at the Algonquin Hotel and the Marlin and Amni galleries in Soho and the Fine Arts Museum in Long Island, to name a few. His focus has since shifted to the business side of the art world by opening Take Two Gallery in Pennsylvania, Emergence Gallery in Atlanta, and World Universe Gallery in New York. Pierre's current venture, Zen Fusion Restaurant and Lounge, is a culmination of cultural experiences through visual, functional, and edible art. The fusion of Haitian and Asian cultures is represented in the cuisine and ambience of the space.
that's right.
Wow, my brother. Wow. I have to visit this place again.
I'm telling
Well,
you, man. It's life changing, brother.
I have to. I have to. Peter, you were born in Haiti and now live in the U.S. How have these two countries shaped you?
Well, it's still a different world. Um, Haiti, it's laid back. You know, most of my life been here in the U.S. and so I guess I started living pretty much in the U.S. You know, with the experience of growing up and having a family in Haiti. So we all together. But we find out soon enough that it's a different world once you move in the U.S. So family are not really family because the lifestyle changed the way we live, and so that was the. I will tell you honestly, U.S. was it's a good school for life. You know, and took me a little while, but eventually I found myself, and so it's been exciting.
What's your strongest memory of your childhood?
That's a very good question. Uh, I will say seeing, being with my mother. Well, I should say my mother literally. She had 6 children, and most of my other siblings, brothers and sisters, there was another different part of the Haiti. But I was the only one actually that was always with her at the time, and I seen things that you know make me a true man today because of my mother. The experience of spiritually, as a spiritual matter of fact, Zen BeBe come from my mother's nickname is BeBe. So that's still to the matter of fact, she's here right now. As a matter of fact, she told me to say hello to you. So she's a very powerful woman. Her spirit, you know, I learned things that not that she literally taught me to say, well, this is what you should do, whatever. I just follow her steps, and it's. I remember there were times, and as a struggling mother, to feed us, it was a challenge. You know, there's a story that I tell the other day about, you know, my mother used to play lottery in Haiti, but it's a different kind of lottery, the system. But she will actually having the faith to put the water on the stove and not knowing where the food is going to come from, but
Wow.
hoping that the lottery will come out and she'll win. And if that doesn't happen, we're in trouble. So that's one of the memory. But besides that, it was a learning experience. That's what actually turned me to a point that I want to be an entrepreneur. To you know, seeing my mother go through certain things that she didn't deserve. She worked so hard, and you know, make me want to do better for myself and for others.
Can you give us a glimpse into the life of the 8-year-old Pierre, the 14-year-old Pierre, and who did he become at 24?
Man, that's good. We're gonna go deep. If you that question is gonna be a very deep question because my childhood was a very challenging childhood. One of the, you know, I'm going deep to give you answers that I hope the people will understand that being the person that I am today has to do with my childhood because it was very, it was a tough childhood. You know, even before I was born, I was declined by my father that, you know, he didn't, I wasn't his son. And you can imagine, you know, being born in a household that you have your brothers, you have your sisters, and with the same father, but, you know, somehow everybody knows that, well, he said, you know, his son. So it was a challenge because feeling that I was alone all the time. You know, even though my mother loves me, but I was always alone because I feel like, you know, somehow I was less than my brothers and less than my sisters. And I think that's how the creativity come all together. You know, I had to, you know, create my own, you know, my own world. And so starting with from the age of 6, 7, 8 years old, it was there's a lot of things that happen in my life that I wouldn't want to happen to any other kids.
Right.
Even sexually, a lot of things that had happened. And from, like you asked the question, from 6, 8 years old to 14.
14 at 14, not
At 14,
not 2, but at 14.
At 14, I was a very tough kid because I was basically, I felt like the whole world was against me. And being creative in my family, you have doctors, you have nurses, and in the Caribbean, it's a challenge. How dare you to be an artist? Because it's not a career. So I had to, pretty much I didn't like school. So that's what I wanted to do. The gift that was given to me, that I wanted to just 24/7. That's what I wanted to do. But it was against, my family's, well-being for me. So which they didn't understand. So they used to beat me up because that's what I wanted to do. I didn't like school. I didn't want to go to school. So eventually they had to get used to it. So at 14, I was doing a lot of things that most 14 years old would never dream of. Not like sexually. I was very active. And so by the time I get to 18, it was really, the struggle was that to live a life that was safe, I will say. Because starting at an early age sexually, it was really, and the Caribbean, it's like mostly if you're a young boy, it's okay to be or he's a little macho or papi chulo, whatever. And that wasn't a bad thing because they didn't look at it like it's gonna somehow be a big part of my life. So I had to really learn to understand this is not the way to live a good life. So from 6, 8, 14 years old, it was fun at the time because I was having a lot of fun. I was enjoying myself. I was being very creative. I was being, like I said, very sexually very active. And pretty much by the time I get to 18, I moved to the US. I was, I believe, 16 or 17 years old. And so that's when the real challenge started.
So let's go to art. When did you realize you had an aptitude for art? At what age?
I think I was about like 10 years old.
10 years.
Right.
And what can you tell us about your first creation as a child?
Right.
And then as an adult?
As a child, I started, there was my mentor was across the street from me, this artist guy. And when the first time I saw him, paintings, it was life changing. So from that day, I will be with him like all day, sitting there just watching him paint and all this things. So one day I'm like, let me try this. So I tried, and my first sketch probably was like making Christmas cards to sell, because that's what he was doing.
Right.
So I started making Christmas cards. So that was my first art creativity. So that was like, wow, this is amazing, and it helps me to forget about everything else that was going in the house. So, and then I know, what, I decided I was going to be an artist for the rest of my life.
So was art an escape for you?
Oh, it was. It was more than an escape. It was. That's how I breathe. That was magic. It's having, sketching or painting something was just kind of like living in my own world.
Talking about that, tell us a bit about your art, and what is the spiritual connection between you and your creations?
Well, what happened, like I said earlier, being in a house that, Catholic by, not by choice.
Right.
But we practice voodoo. So in my house, my mother was always having ceremony. The spirits will come in the house. There will be, every weekend or every other weekend, there will be something going on. So for me, it was just like, that was a different level of spiritually learning that voodoo was like a part of our life. And this is when the whole thing started, that, the dreams, spirit will come and while you're sleeping, somehow visiting you and tell you, stories, or having the dream of look, feel so real, then you want to get up and start sketching, start painting. So that's how the whole spiritual part come from, being an artist, being creative in that way. So it takes to the next level. And also, somehow I think the universe had its own plan, being a Catholic, voodoo in the house. I was a Baptist, I was a 7 Days, I was a Mason, I was a Wesley Christian. So basically this whole universe come together, and it changed once I started traveling and going to Asia, and the whole thing changed.
So these various religions and disciplines, Masonry, Baptists, Adventists, and all these things, were you on a quest, or you just happened to be assimilated into these religions because maybe one of your parents went or somebody took you, or were you seeking something?
Well, at my age, you can't say, well, I was seeking anything, not by me knowing,
right?
But the universe himself had his project. So, and I'm saying this, deeply, because when I see where I'm at today,
right?
So when I go back and rewind everything else, it was set up that way for me to be where I am today and where I want to be to the next level, because everything else, and I used the word, to you before, and funny enough, see, your book, you were ahead of the time when I said, I am that.
Yes. Yeah.
The karma, which a lot of people don't know. And then I am, because everything, all the religions, everything else, because everything that exists, it's all good. So the universe had the plan. And for me, it's amazing at that age, you have no clue going to all this religion, all these things. Like I have no understanding of what's going on. And until, I travel to Asia and realize that, wow, all this thing come together. Even having the restaurant now, the Zen Fusion. If you come to the restaurant, it blew your mind, because literally I can go back when I was in Haiti and have all the spirit in one place, and have all the religion in one place, and God is in one place. So that's what, for me, thinking that, well, is religion a bad thing? But I don't think religion is a bad thing. I think God created everything for a greater reason. It's mankind that decided, for their own gain, then wanted to, shift thing or do certain things to own people's, mind on creativity. But at the end of the day, oh man, I wouldn't trade my life for anything for what had happened to me, as far as of, starting from my father, disowned me, being a spiritual person, being a Catholic, being a Voodooism, you name it, practice Buddhist, everything that's like, I am that. So that's a beautiful thing. When
you hear the word Haiti, what comes to mind to you?
It's funny, now I'm very detached to Haiti, because being in this country most of my life, and Haiti, the memory that I have in Haiti dates basically the last time I went there many years ago. It doesn't exist anymore. It's just in my mind. So when I heard of Haiti, yes, I'm 100% Haitian. I love my culture, but as far as of having something living in me, say, well, I want to go back to Haiti and be part of this, whole thing. I don't feel that way. I feel that my job is done in Haiti, and now only thing that I can do is to represent Haiti where I'm at right now.
I wanna explore the artist side of you a little bit, because I think it is you. Right? I believe without that, then there's no Pierre, there's no Zen BeBe. So I want to spend some time, but I'm going to ask you questions in a certain kind of way. and then we're going to flow into the whole spirituality thing.
Said, man.
What jobs have you done other than an artist? Yes, I went there, Peter.
Well, I'll start by answering the question by saying to you that I never wanted to work for anybody.
Uh-huh.
Matter of fact, one of the things with my family was that they used to think that, call me lazy. He's lazy. He just didn't want to work. Because one of the reasons why I saw him was the fact that seeing my mother, struggling, even though I didn't know much, but I know there had to be something better. There had to be, the universe had to be some bigger plan, just to be like struggling. So getting job here and there was, for me, was just like, oh gee, that was like, when I had to, I had to. I can count in one hand how many jobs that I had in my whole life. Of course, yeah, I was a clerk, I was a dishwasher, I was blah, 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 but not for long, because it was just for maybe a couple months, or I never spent like a year or 6 months in a job, because it was against my belief. And because I always believed within myself, there was this fire to be an entrepreneur, a business, I wanted to own my own business, so as far as a job, yeah, I had a few jobs that I hated, because I will go this week and I feel like, what is there for me to do? I always feel like I was in the wrong place, because I get bored very easily. Being creative, that's one of the problems, because you go somewhere that, I start a week, then I'm like, okay, then I keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. I just didn't show up.
What drew you to Asia? And where in Asia did you first go?
Well,
what was your first country?
Well, my first place in Asia was Japan.
Japan, okay.
Right. And you asked the question, what drew me to Asia? Again, was the universe plan. I met a guy in the Poconos that said, well, you cannot be an artist, never been to Asia. And I was so excited when he said that word. Matter of fact, I even go further and say, well, I'll pay for everything for you. I'll pay for the tickets, I'll pay for the hotel, I'll pay for everything. So that was my first trip going there, and let me tell you, man, I want anybody that's listening right now, take a trip to Asia, anywhere in Asia. It will change your mind. And being from Haiti to America and then to Asia, it's life-changing. And that's how the whole thing started. So once I get there, I see the love, the passion that the people had. It was just like I said, man, gee, I'm moving. So
love and passion.
Love and
two very important ingredients.
Oh.
Do you infuse those two things in your art?
Selwyn, listen, man. Everything starts with love and end with love. Us here right now, if there was no love, we wouldn't exist.
That is true.
The universe created us out of love. And for that, I feel sorry for the people that don't know love. And literally, because love, it's not one thing. Love is everything. Everything.
What was your first, when you got to Japan?
Right.
First time. Describe that experience, if you can. The first profound experience you had.
I realized that we have a lot in common. We may look different, but we have a lot in common. And I find some of the culture the same, similar to Haiti. And I realize that they have more passion as far as of living life, and the love they have, to wake up every day and to just be happy with what they have. And that was one of the first, because for me, I never felt so much love in my life. That was the first time, I felt, people really cared. They didn't have to say, I love you, but the way they look at me, and they look to the one in the friend next to them, and they just look at me like I was special. I felt special for the first time in my life.
I want you talking about special. Your art is special, right? I'm sorry we don't have a few pieces to actually show the people, but you use a lot of faces.
Yes.
And I'm leading into a question because I see the chat room. Dre asks a question. Pierre, can you talk a bit about the significance of the use of the face in your art?
Well, there's the faces, there's the eyes, and there's the colors.
The eyes and the what?
The colors.
Uh-huh.
Faces, I always believed that was one of the way the spirit used to come in to my dreams, with many faces. And so that way, what happened is kind of like, even when I draw the first time, it will be a circle without knowing what I'm going to do. And with the circle, I can see faces, I can see eyes. And the best way to communicate with people is look at right in their face. Your eyes, your face. And I can tell, wow, just like I'm looking at you right now. You know what I mean? So you know what? I know I'm at the right place. Because if the face and the eyes, because they speak to me, I can't explain how, but they do. We have that this magic. Because most of my painting, you'll see a lot of faces, the line, the eyes, and because I feel like once you look at somebody straight with their eyes and their face, they can't lie to you. You got it.
True.
And that's why, it's always gonna be that. I mean, I have different styles, but what really within myself was that's the way to communicate with people. That's the way to get to know people. It's from their eyes, their face, and that way I can look at your face. I can tell you right now, I see so many things going on. Even I'm not even right in your face right now. I'm actually in your face and beyond.
And beyond.
And beyond.
Eric said, Take Two Gallery was a very special place. And Dre said, how is Asia incorporated into the food at your restaurant?
Oh, that's easy. Both world, we love food. You know that, Selwyn.
Yes.
Yes. And that's actually one of the things when I went to Asia, I was like, was so similar to Haiti. Because their market is mostly at night. And you go to the market, it's food everywhere. I mean, they love food, the smell, the spice. And in Haiti, it's the same thing. We have something in Haiti called fritai. That's like every evening, every corner you go in Haiti, you see the merchant will, sit, have this, everything set up with the fry plantain, the fry pork, everything is going, and you'll have people that, the poorest people, the richest people will come down this, and at the corner, just to enjoy, eat, jokes. It's amazing. And I go to Asia, when I find out, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that. So the combination come together. It's like have the two world, the Asian and the Caribbean, if you want to say it so. And that's how the whole fusion come together. And let me tell you, man, it is fantastic.
Do you have a favorite artwork?
The next one.
I like that, Peter. Before we take a break, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Never give up.
Never give up. Let's take a break.
All right.
We are back with Pierre Leon, Zen BeBe Leon.
Yes, sir.
Pierre, before the break, I had this question for you. When you hear the word art, what comes to mind?
Freedom. I know I said this to you before. There's two different kind of artists. For me, a true artist, it's the next level. A true artist is somebody that's what they eat, they breathe, they're passionate. They give their life for, and they have no fear pursuing their lifestyle. And I know it's a challenge, but when you say art, for me, I remember when I was that 10 years old, what it did for me was like, it's like I was reborn. And matter of fact, I haven't painted for a long time. One of the reasons, because being an entrepreneur, you can't mix the two. Because if you really love your art, it's like cheating. It's like cheating on myself.
Yeah.
If I love art so much that I'd rather not paint or do anything creative.
Right.
If I'm gonna do it halfway, it has to be 100%.
I can relate to that.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand, but it's that's why I love being around true artists. The goal, we actually I have a couple new partners, and we're getting to do some amazing things that's going to change a lot of artists' life, a lot of people's life. And one of them, actually, I don't know if you want to mention her name, but she's an amazing artist.
Go ahead.
Her name is Sarah Katz, and she's an amazing artist, amazing businesswoman. I mean, she don't want to say it, but she's a millionaire. So I'll say it, Sarah, if you're listening. And it's amazing when you click with people that get it, creative minds, and understand how your life changing, how we were actually put in this earth, not just for ourselves, but the gift was given to us to give to others. Otherwise, we didn't have that gift to give. You have it, it's not for you, but to give to others. And I'm getting a group of people, amazing people, that this guy actually, I living in a vision. I see the dream is actually, it's been come to pass, because working with these people, with the plan, the goals that we're setting for the next level. And I'm so excited, because I feel like one of the things being a true artist, when you give yourself to your art, it's not something you can negotiate. There's no negotiation for that. I don't care if you my kids, I don't care if you my girlfriend, my friends, it doesn't matter. It's too important, because see, you have to think about one thing. When the universe give you a free gift, as it is give you the life itself to breathe, there's nothing like it. And on top of it, give you a creative, something amazing that you can do with your hands and your mind. It's just like you can never repay that. So you have to take that very serious. To not just personally for yourself, but for others, to make people feel good, to help them understand, to share it. And that's for me, art is everything.
Do you think you're talking about the universe? Do you think the spirits, the universe, God, speaks to us through art, or gives us messages through art?
Well, we actually the messengers. As an abstract art, a painter, what I really love about it is the fact that you don't know what you're gonna do. And guess what? When it's done, when the next person that come and see the work, they have the same feeling that you do.
Yes.
Because you can't take credit for it.
Yes.
And that's why I show you that God, He is God. You can't wake up and say, well, I'm gonna do this, this, and that. What I do when I used to paint was the combination of putting the canvas there, a glass of water, a candle, incense, and sit down for a few hours, having all the paint, the brushes, everything there, and I'm waiting.
So obedience is a very important part of your process.
That's the only way. Because, see, you have to understand, that's why I like the fact that being raised in Haiti, being raised in a house that the spirit used to leave, the ceremony, all these things, because even before the ceremony will start, you have to wait. So it's the same thing being creative. You have to wait on God.
How do you know when it has arrived? And I'm asking you this question for everyone.
Right.
How do you know when the presence is there? How do you know?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people never possessed by a spirit before. But you will know. And once you know, it takes you, it's kind of like you have wings. I know, at least for myself, it takes you so deep, so deep. It's like you having a conversation with God to the next level. And when you feel that, your heart it's just like dying laughing. This joy, and you see a stroke, you see a face, you see eyes, you see the funny thing about it's like being an abstract artist, you put everything there you don't know. I never went to school for art, but somehow the combination of the colors, it's this something that tells you even when to stop. Do you know how many times I've done paintings? My partner had that experience many times. I will finish a painting, go to sleep, come back, and wake up. It's like, where's the painting? It's something else. So when you possess by the what do you want to call it? The spirit, the universe, he's in charge. Let me give you a perfect example. The last work that I've done, being a designer also, was the restaurant. And I live there also.
Right.
Every single day that I wake up, it's the most well, I tell people all the time, it's not a restaurant, it's a temple. It is a temple because I have conversation with different pieces. There's this feeling of joy, there's this feeling of connecting, and the messages that come to. And actually, that's how I found myself as spiritual teacher, because I know people might look at people that know you before and say, well, this nonsense, whatever. All these things come to me from the restaurant. The people that I changed their lives, they walk through that door, and all of a sudden, whether it's a 10-year-old, whether it's 50 or 60 years old, then somehow there's that connection with the place. People you never met before, and they start telling you their life story. And once you open up yourself, being used as a messenger, and you start helping them out, seeing people crying, and people will tell you, whether you go online, you check, what people said about the place. It's literally, it's life changing instead of just going to a restaurant. So being an artist. And this whole Zen, that's why I said earlier when you asked me the question about, coming from Haiti to Asia, all these places, and all this religion, everything, all these things. God knew exactly what he was doing. Because he was telling me, I am that, everything. And you are special, and I'm going to use you that way.
Let me go to the chat room. Lydia asked, how often do you paint or create art?
Right now, I'm doing that right now.
Okay. And Lydia asked again, does politics influence your work?
Say it again.
Does politics influence your work?
I used to tell people that I don't like politics. Well, it's been a hypocrite to say that, because we do that every day. So yes, I accept that, because I have been a hypocrite to myself, because I didn't understand. Because whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to play that role in somebody's life. And as far as I'm going to politics, nobody knows. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Eric asked, "What music are you playing during the break?" It's really great.
I know Eric will like that.
It's by Sona Zabaret. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. South African. A mixture of that Cheklo and Salif Keita.
Salif Keita, yeah.
Salif
From
is
Senegal.
Salif is amazing.
Oh,
It calms me down.
great artist. Great artist.
One of my favorite for him is Tomorrow. And Africa. Beautiful, beautiful voice. And Dre asks, Pierre, is there a particular time of day that you're inspired to paint, or have some quiet time to think through a business proposal?
I love you, Dre. Lately, it's been more. I'm in a mood of my spiritual. It's getting deeper, and entrepreneurial mindset is getting deeper. So I've been painting for a while. I'm working towards that, but meditation for me is pretty much 24/7. As I'm talking right now, I'm actually meditating in a sense. But I have a place. I have a couple places in the restaurant. There's the Blue Lounge that's in the back. That's my sanctuary, one of my sanctuary. And when Dre comes to the restaurant, she'll understand why. Also, I have my spirit room, which I go like every morning. That I go and give thanks and meditate for a while. When I'm in my bed, I meditate, and it's actually meditation is an amazing thing. Some people that don't understand about meditation, it's like they try to complicate meditation. Meditation is not complicated at all. It's been you have a conversation with yourself and getting to know yourself. When you stop for a minute to get answers, you don't ask questions, you don't ask for answers, you don't ask for anything, then come to you.
How important it is to have a sanctuary?
Oh man, it's everything. I wish I could have just videotaped myself to have conversation with my mother, literally in my spirit room. It's important because I was raised that way. I remember my mother's room. There was a small room for the spirits. The separate that to go, for the spirit. And I was raised that way. Even when I didn't understand this whole spirit things, I was just like, but once you go in that room, there are powerful things in there.
You can sense it.
Oh yes, oh yes. I mean,
have you ever been scared as a child?
Yes.
You have?
Yes. Because it's not something you prepared for. And nobody prepare you for that. And that's why, being that spiritual person that I am right now, as a spiritual student, a spiritual teacher, I'm trying to educate people that there's nothing to be afraid of. What you're afraid of, you're afraid of knowing yourself. But there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing can do anything to you. It's a God have all these things for a reason. And I don't know if you notice, a lot of people that religious people, they change to be religious, or whatever you want to call it, to when something bad happened, when something terrible is going on in their life. But when you go and meet God in that point, to be whatever the religion might be, then you're going to still be living in fear. Because fear gets you to where you went for, where you're going, actually seeking for whatever, but which was always within you anyway. It was given to you. Then you're going to get control by the leader of that religion. God created us with everything that we need and want. Everything, 100%. So that's why when people say, well, this religion is better, this one is no good, whatever, it's crazy. So fear, it's actually, you're always going to have fear. But the good thing about it, your faith going to conquer that.
Yes.
Because fear is part of us.
When did you stop fearing?
I don't think it's a matter of stop fearing. But my faith is so deep, it overcome my fear.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because I don't have to. I've been prepared even before I was born. I've been prepared. I've been through so much in life. So you get to a point, fear cannot do anything. What else you gonna do to me?
Let's talk encounters.
Right.
Right? You've had some as a child. Okay. As you get older, I guess you become a little bit more accustomed to the encounters. You began to understand their presence more. Was there ever a time when you were so aware of this encounter that at first it frightened you because it was so large, it was so much more than you're accustomed to? Have you ever had that experience, but even in that particular experience you overcame it? What was the bridge? You mentioned faith just now.
Right.
But what was the bridge? What was that connection? I remember as a child, my mother used to teach us that. I don't know if you ever had this. When you're sleeping, you're between sleep and wake, or you're conscious and you feel as though there's a weight on you, you're being pressed.
Right.
Right? I have experienced that. My mother taught me to say the Lord's Prayer. And I know I'm laying there and I would say the Lord's Prayer. But you're conscious, you can see everything, but you're unable to move, and you're feeling this weight. I don't know what that is, but you're feeling this weight on you. And I have practiced that and practiced that to the point where within that space I know that I'll get out of it. So I'm asking you this, right?
Right.
When you had that encounter,
Right.
and you feared it, but you transitioned from that fear to understanding and not fear, what was that bridge? What did you do?
Yeah, I'm going to touch on the first thing you said. Funny enough, you said it because when I was younger, the same feeling you talk about, somebody come and press on, feel that heavy. You can feel it's somebody.
Yes.
And you're fighting with yourself, to push that away, whatever. But at the time, I didn't know what to do and I didn't even talk to my family about it. Because for me, it was like the fear of it was, I know it was something bad. That's what I had in mind. But as I get older, being the practice of different level, whatever you want to call it, spiritually, that I've been through, so I know that I have the power within myself that nothing can touch me. The fear, it's not going to go away. But when that happens, I will come out of it. I will come out of it on top. And what is this? I had an experience that happened to me, matter of fact, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. I think my dog was getting sick, and in the middle of the night, I think it was like 3:30 in the morning, and he wanted me to take him out. So I went and take him out. So I went outside, of course, finish and then come back. As soon as I put my head on the bed, and there was this thing that just jumped in my head and started like pounding my head. I mean, it felt so real, but I knew because in Haiti, being in that house, there are certain things as far as spiritually, the good, the bad, and you can feel it. Once you feel it, then you know, okay, if it's good or bad. But when that happened to me at the time, what I did was I just played cool because I was in charge of it. I said, okay, I know it's not real, and I know there's nothing you can do to me, so I'm going to play dead. As soon as I did that, it was gone.
You became still.
Oh yeah, you just surrender, and then it was gone. Because you see what happened when whatever you fight, you get more of it, good or bad.
Yeah.
And there was different kind of situation. There was an incident that happened to me a few years ago, and literally this one was worse because I know it was a bad spirit. Jump on me, start fighting. I mean, really fight. But being a Mason, I always have a sword in my bed, so I pull it out. I don't know if you have that. There's a one of the master that I learned from, this Asian master. It was this thing that I learned from him, that he was actually fighting the spirit somewhere in the water with a sword. He said he was talking about sometimes you feel a certain way in your life. You know this, it's not normal. But only way to get out, or you have to get it out and fight it, and just literally, with with the sword or whatever, fight it. And I did that experience. Sure enough, that never happened again when that bad spirit had come to me. I pulled the sword out. I said, well, you know what? This is the last time you're going to come and do something like that to me. I know some people might be listening right now and say, well, he's crazy. Or doesn't make any sense what he's saying. But I can respect that. And that's why I think that we are different. Because there's different level, different things in my life that I've been through. And I see things that I'm not crazy. And that's what I'm always searching, because it's important, because fear itself, fear can take over your life in so many different ways. But you're going to have faith in something that can overcome the fear. So it's not going to go away, but I'm going to be on top of it to do what I was born to do. And that's why I think faith is important.
Eric said, we are the art of the universe, the creative expression of God. So being creative, letting it flow through you, it isn't about the ego, it is about praising life. I like that. Eric said again, I saw Sylvester bring that joy to his gallery in the Poconos, and in the open-hearted way he communicates.
Well, thank you for the credit, Eric, because I appreciate that, bro. I mean, this guy, Eric, is a nice guy too, because see, when you know your purpose,
yes,
it is so important to always giving yourself. There's no fear in that. I'm trying to figure out the best way I can put this for yourself or to the people that are listening. When you were chosen, and not literally chosen, because people said sometimes we are equal. No, we are not equal. We're not. We are not equal. Every one of us has the universe picked us for different things. And I know I'm very special. So when you're special, even the people that hurt me the most, if you see me with them, you won't believe that. When I tell you the story, what had happened between me and that person. But the thing about it is the fact that when you know your purpose, you know you're special. The universe has a way to let the people that are around you, that hurt you, that do everything bad to you, to know, listen.
You're awake.
When you see me, you will believe. If you have no faith, because at the minute, if I go to Walmart, whether I'm on vacation, whether I'm at the gallery, whether I'm at the restaurant, once somebody come to my door, it is my purpose to make sure to take care of you. Because you were sent to receive something, and something very special. And I love when people have doubt about me. I love when they look at me, whether because of the color of my skin, whether because of my accent. I love it. I go right to your face and give you some love. And then you can literally see in their face, it's like, where did this guy come from? And because God wants you, because he already tells me, said, listen, it's all because of fear. Once they feel your heart, once they feel that energy, they'll come. And when they see the way that I treat you, when they see the way that I'm shining you, my light is shining on you, they'll believe. So you must take good care of them. You must love them. Even when they hurt you, you must love them. And Eric is a perfect example of that. From day one, I haven't seen him for a while, by the way. From day one, I embrace this guy. And I know we haven't talked for a long time, but it just, it's like yesterday.
Yes.
And it's a matter of like when you give yourself to people, then they start thinking about love. They start thinking about why this person is different. Why are you giving me this? I never felt that before. So it is your purpose to love and to give love, because we cannot give anything we don't have. So we already have everything. So if you don't give, I heard people said, well, why do I have to give you this? Why do I have to do this for so and so? Because, I have my own problems. But guess what? If you keep thinking that way, first of all, your problem is not for you to fix. Your problem is for somebody else to come and fix your problem. Meanwhile, you are there to go and fix somebody else's problem. Until you do so, you will stay with your problems.
I believe that. I truly believe
simple.
that. I truly believe that we are supposed to give on to others.
Yes, because we put there for a greater purpose. We have to understand. Even I don't care how much money you have, Selwyn. Whether you Donald Trump, whether you Oprah, guess what? You still need people. You still need people to help you.
What still surprises you as an artist? What still surprises you about yourself as an artist?
What I'm surprised is the fact that I couldn't believe that I am this amazing human being. I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think it was possible because the way I was raised, I was always put down. I was always put down. Nobody ever said to me, well, you know what, I love you. I think their love was to be tough, or to, you did something bad, they're going to punish you. But for me to be this man, and this is just the beginning of being so loving, so caring. Mind you, I'm not perfect. I'm not even close to be perfect. But I am aware I am special. So that would surprise me than anything else, being an artist, because being through so much, and I find I still have more to give.
I know in abstract art, you never know what you're going to end up with. I know that from personal experience. But is there something that you feel within your spirit? Something or an array of things that you have to create at some point? Do you have that? Not what it is, but you know that it exists.
Right.
Or it is waiting to exist, waiting for you to give it life.
That's a very good question, but I can only answer that question in two ways.
Go ahead.
First of all, being a true artist, it's a calling, and when you've been used, it's kind of like if you hear a preacher or a priest, you've been called to do something, to serve. So when the creativity come along, it comes with and at the right time. Because the way I paint, even though I've been painting for a long time, but I know the next level it's coming. You know what I mean? I know the next level it's coming, and let me tell you, it's gonna be to the next level. See what I like. It's like when people see me. Most people now, for the past few years, being an entrepreneur, doing business, they don't know I'm a very good artist.
Oh, they don't know that.
No, they don't know that. Because they see me, I'm as a businessman. They see me, well, this guy's an entrepreneur, he's on a restaurant, he's on the gallery, blah, blah, blah. But they don't know me as this, until I have a few people that been to the restaurant, because being in the place that I was before, in the restaurant's like, who did this?
Have you ever had someone express so much amazement and joy at one of your pieces that it even surprised you, because you didn't see that amount of you didn't see the piece capable of evoking that amount of joy and so on? Have you ever experienced that?
It happened every day. Every day, whether that I open my business, I'll give you a perfect example. There was a mother and a son that was their Sunday come to eat, and their work can come from New York because most of our customers from different states, and they sat down, literally. I mean, it's like almost tears coming out of her eyes because she's like, "Oh my God, I felt so much peaceful." And it's the and it was this to answer the question you just asked was that's how the universe used you. You know, and that's what amazed you because it's like when it takes you to the next level and see something so amazing it's done. And I love the fact that you start somewhere and it's like the process it's opening up. And once it's even yourself, it shocked yourself. And seeing people loving what you do, it's just like I'm like, wow. You know, it's and for me that's the biggest reward. A true artist reward, it's not the money.
Yes.
It's seeing people react to
Yes.
your work
Yeah.
and feel good.
You mentioned amazement, and I would like you to talk a little bit about that because I love amazement. I love to be amazed. I think amazement to me is a personal connection with the Creator.
Right.
Is that space where you're able to say to the Creator, "Thank you. I am that. I am." And I don't want to get rid of my amazement. There are people who would say to me, "You just wrote this. Why are you amazed by what you wrote?" And my explanation to that is because I am not the ink, but I'm the pen. Right? So I want to always have that amazement. Right? Never get to the point where I think I am the ink. So how important is being amazed at what you are still being amazed at what you do, even though you did it?
Let me tell you how amazing is. I used to paint, like I said, I told you the story how I started, how I prepare myself to go and paint. I will go out, you know, having a good time with my friends, and I find myself while I'm out, the work is calling me. It's calling me to a point that I can't resist. And even when I get there, what it was before, it's something else. It's like somehow my eyes see something godly. And I will stay with my suit on. I will say with the clothes that I went out, everything, with his shirt, everything, and go on for the rest of the night. And I can't wait to, even when I go to bed, in my mind, half sleep, half awake, can't wait. I will get up in the middle of the night to look at the work because it's inside of you. It's in your blood. It's in your everything. And you can understand because I know some people cannot understand that. There is not. That's why it's so important for the job that we have to do to help other artists get that opportunity to feel that way. I mean, I'm so grateful that the gift to be an artist, I wouldn't be anything else because when you're amazed about the creativity of God, it makes you feel like you're 2 or 3, 5 years old. It's like you're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And what I like is the fact that when you get to the next one, it keeps amazing. It keeps getting better and better and better and better. So amazing, it's not even enough. The word is not enough.
It's true. GY to NY said, "Not crazy. There are different spiritual, almost unnatural experiences we have during such episodes. The older we get, the less they seem to occur, less fear, maybe." Andrea said, "Pierre, I always wonder about the beads that you wear on your hand. Some men wear them as necklaces. What's their significance?"
That's my meditation beads. And it's I have something else inside that I always carry inside of me too. But this actually, that's why I said earlier when you asked the question, I said even I'm talking right now, I'm meditating right now because it is important. We may not be using paint or brush right now, but the universe is still using us. It's still inspiring us, what we're doing right now. So I have to. It's an amazing. Whatever that's going on, it calms me down. it's a reminder, even though I may not using the way that I use when I'm meditating, but just seeing it there or feeling it because it's part of me.
Yes.
So it helped me to relax, even the conversation we're having right now.
Talking about calming down, I love music. We love similar kinds of music.
Right, right.
What type of music calms you down?
That's a good question. It all depends the mood.
Uh-huh.
Because see, my calm down could be a nice reggae blasted in my
Yes.
car,
Yes.
and I'm traveling.
Right.
And for me, that's the I don't want to say the best, but it's kind of it put me to the next level. I'm having my conversation with the spirits, with God, and everything. I can listen to a good house music, the music we're playing right now. As soon as I walk in, no matter what I have to say to you, brother. I mean, your place is really, See, that's I know I'm getting off the subject for a minute.
No, go ahead. Let it flow.
It's important when you're not home, but I'm at home.
Wow.
I hope people that are listening understand what I just said to you.
Hmm.
As I opened the door, I was in my place. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I got you.
It's my home because this is me. Everything, the aroma, everything about it, it's me, and that's very unusual to find. And that's why I said to you, there's a different level, between us all. Because when you being that servant of knowing, you cannot walk in a place because I have to treat this place with respect. And I feel everything, and I was like, wow, I know from day one when we met, I got to give Joy a lot of credit for that because she's another amazing, spiritual person that I like very much. That put us together. That I love the fact, especially lately, the people that I'm meeting, the people that I'm working with right now, that I'm seeing the vision is getting closer and closer. And I know you've been part of that vision, and you will be going on moving forward in that level. That what we have to do together, because I feel like, even being here tonight, before I come here, I was like, okay, I know we've been doing it for a little while now. This is not about me. It's great to talk about my life, where I'm from, all these things. It's really about the people that are listening, because even I'm sitting here, you're sitting across from me. This is not me. It's them.
Hmm.
It's the same story. It's the same life. Hopefully, they can be in that chair. Not because I don't want to edge God out.
Right.
Meaning, I don't want my ego to being too much of this.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it is for them. I want to let them know that this is our calling. This is our mission. It's to connect. And it is very important. The only reason they are listening today or watching us is because somehow we all have something to do. And we must do it. If we don't do it, because life has nothing to do with us. At the end of the day, we already been taken care of. Because that's what God said. Believe, you ask, you shall receive. So, but we put here for each other. Don't wake up every day thinking that everything has to do with you. Everything has to do with what are you going to do for the next person. And we have to do that. And we need to put, our ego aside and serve our purpose well, because it is very important. Because I'm saying this because I'm not teaching anything that you don't know.
Hmm.
And everything that I'm teaching is a reminder for things that I need to learn myself. So I'm learning what I'm saying because it is important. because our ego get to, most of the time try to, get in front. So I'm trying to remind myself, don't think this is about you. This is about what we have to accomplish. And this is the time. This is the time. If we don't do it, I'm telling you, man, this big thing about to happen. Big things between now and a few years. Big things about to happen. And cannot happen without us. And you having this medium, it is so important to remind us what we have to do. And don't think too hard about what we have to do. What you have to do is so simple. But you just pick up the phone and tell somebody that you love them. Or what can I do for you? Or I didn't hear from you yesterday. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. And you'll be surprised. There are a lot of people that right now, whether some of them are watching right now, they're going through some very big challenges in their life. And I wanted to remind you all that I am that person. The same person that you think you are going through whatever you're going through right now, it's already been taken care of. All you need to do, go and help somebody else. I guarantee you by tomorrow, by an hour or a minute, there will be life changing in your life right now. I can guarantee. I'm a living proof of that. So please, do what you must do. Don't think too hard about it, because thinking, it's your worst enemy. Even though we need to think, but it's your worst enemy. So go and do something to help somebody else. It's very important.
I'm really moved by what you just said. I have a few questions I want to ask you, rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Before time is on us. How does happiness and self-confidence affect your artistic expressions?
I found out about happiness not too long ago, and I'm still working on it. It's a very good question. It's a big question. Being raised, in a situation that was, you never felt like you were loved, and I think that's what God had His plan, because I didn't need anybody to love me. Because I was already loved. That's what I have to give now.
Tell us one important lesson you've learned on your spiritual journey. Just one.
To be me, to be myself.
Who do you talk to when it gets rough?
My mother, of course, God, I'm talking to Him right now. And also I find out that, there's no such thing of things getting tough. It's just a matter of understanding of, what you're being prepared for.
What is one thing about you, Pierre, that most people do not know that might surprise them? One thing.
Right. I'm a very loyal man.
Loyal?
Yeah.
Looking back, I almost know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it, Peter, because it is here. Looking back, what will you change about anything? Life experiences, your education, what would you change, if anything?
Nothing.
When are you most happy?
Right now.
What is gratifying about being you?
The thing about this is that when you finally know who you are, you don't need anything else. It's a beautiful thing. What we're doing right now, this is my calling. It's so beautiful that I feel so much joy. I feel so much joy. It's just like, and a lot of people that know me, they know, well, I talk a lot. And the reason that I talk a lot because I know who I am now, and it was limited there were times that, you know what, I couldn't talk that much.
What is one thing you do or say to yourself to make you feel happier?
It's gonna get better.
Oh, you're good. What are you most proud of, Peter?
It's gonna surprise you, my answer, because I have a couple answers, but I'm gonna give you the right answer.
Uh-huh.
I'm very proud of what I know the universe has in plan for me.
I
I'm
like
very
that.
proud of later. I'm very proud of tomorrow because I know what I'm working on, and I know by showing me so much, I'm very proud about what I'm about to accomplish in my life.
Finish the sentence. I look forward to Sunday evenings to
To relax.
relax. How do you relax, Peter? You're not getting away with this one. How?
Not too much. I'm a very see, when you have so much you want to accomplish, when there was so much that was taken away from you, my relaxation is very limited because I don't need too much to be relaxed, really, because I have so much to do. A little time that I can breathe if I take an hour or a couple hours because I don't sleep much. Because I'm always looking, I live in the moment. In the moment that right now, it is, you have no idea what's always, I mean, it is so big,
Yes.
that moment right now. So there's so much that's already done with that moment. So much that's already been created in that moment. That's coming in that moment. So the relaxation, this is relaxation for me.
What are you most thankful for?
Oh man. I'm thankful because God loved me.
If you had an artist hero, I'm sure you do,
Right.
or heroes,
Right.
who would some of them be?
You already know. It's be Miles Davis, Salvador Dali.
Yes.
I love Frida Kahlo. I love artists, like I said, true artists that don't limit themselves. Because, see, a lot of you were raised to believe that art has to be beautiful, art has to be pretty.
Uh-huh.
That's not what art is all about. Art is about having people reacting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If somebody can react to something that you have, they don't have to like it. But it's, I got you.
Yes, art.
It's art. Because it makes you think. It's something that, can make you think. It's like, that's not my style, but that's unusual. That's what people say about my work. It's different. When they say it's different, I know they don't like it. But it's okay. Because it gets their attention.
I guess that's why raw exists in the in art.
Yes, exactly.
What surprised you about CWS?
This is what surprised me. When, that might take it to another level, what I'm going to say to you. I did something with you a little more than a year. But I think at the time, I don't know if you took it the wrong way or if you didn't get it. It was a big deal for me. I know we never talk about that. I wanted to show you how much I believe in you when I did that to you, and I know you know what I'm talking about. It could have looked like, being disrespectful. It could have been look like, what the hell is this? But at the time, I'm gonna tell you because I never shared that with you before. I was losing my house. But what was said to me, I drove about 40 minutes to go and get what I gave you. To letting you know that I believe in you and it was said to me that was a test to me to you to let you know to see if you will understand what was this. I know you didn't get it. I know for sure because knowing the person that I know, you would have said, Pierre, you never talk about it. At the time, it did surprise me. Because it's amazing because you asked me the question now because I always wanted to have that conversation with you. That was my surprise in two ways. My surprise to let you know I see big things for you, big thing for us, and it was a way for me to say to you, I'm with you all the way, and I'll give you anything that I have. That was a surprise to me because at the time, what I know about ego now, but I still had so-called patient. I'm very humble, and I expect certain things sometimes, but at the same time I also know the time will come for us to have a conversation. It's funny because I wanted to start the conversation when I just got there with you, because when I get at the door I said, wait a minute, this man is me. Mm-hmm. And he reminded me that I did the right thing and there's more coming, but we needed to have that brief, surprising conversation.
If the air is probably not the place, but if you only knew how magnanimous I received that, whether there was a response or not, if you only knew how very large that was to me. It was a small gesture, but it meant a big thing. It meant like an ocean to me. So sometimes I think expectations get in the way, and expectations cloud our perception of things. And so to say this to you, it might have seemed like a small gesture, but to me it was the largest and biggest gesture, and I never forgot that. Never, ever.
You know, funny thing is, actually, all I was looking for
Mm-hmm.
was a conversation. Not thank you, not why you did that,
Yeah.
but I did because I know it would have been done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you, I am glad we had this conversation, right? I am so glad because you coming on CWS was a long time coming.
And to say more,
Mm-hmm.
I know you had one phone call we had and said about the twins because there was a transition
Mm-hmm.
making, and I said, man, listen, you go do your thing because it was time.
I remember.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I
it's
remember
like,
that.
you're gonna do just that. And funny enough, by next year, and I guarantee you that, and right now, there's big thing in the making.
I believe
for
so.
all of us.
I believe so.
For all of us, because I know why I said it. Remember, I told you I live in a vision, so I know why I said it. So brace yourself and be ready.
For the audience who heard us speak in code, this part, I asked Peter. Peter is my brother, my soul brother, my spiritual brother in so many ways. Peter speaks from his heart.
That's
and for
right.
those of you who heard us speak in code and wondering, well, what is this
What the hell
thing?
are they talking about?
What are they talking about? Trust me, it was major.
Yeah.
Peter is a guy that we met through our friend Joy. Joy introduced me to Peter, and it was like, I mean, men can say it was like love at first sight.
That's it.
But our souls connect. And I visited Peter in the Poconos, and I was amazed at what he had. Now he's telling me that it is much grander and bigger than what I saw. But Peter made a small gesture. To him, it's small. Gesture to me. But the connection that was made from that small gesture, I will never ever forget. And it reminds me of an analogy I like to use. If a village is suffering from drought because the water in the well is low, but if everyone throws a pebble, eventually the water will raise to a level where all can drink. Peter sometimes is so big at heart, may see one of his gifts or his gesture as a pebble, but that pebble raises the water to a level where whomever he gives to can drink. And for that, my brother, you're magnanimous. Thank you. This was a wonderful conversation, and you must come back.
Oh man, listen, thank you so much for everybody that take the time to listen to us. And as well, Selman, you are an amazing guy, amazing brother. And I'm so proud of you, man, for what you're doing right now. And I'm very grateful to be in your presence. And I thank God for the opportunity. And to that, I'll say namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.